begin with some breathing. And today, I'd really love to focus on getting out of our minds and into our bodies. And it's really way easier said than done. But hopefully with centering on our breath, with starting to notice the very nuanced, subtle changes in our body as we move, that might help get our mind or get ourselves out of our mind a bit. So more on that in a moment. But I'd love for you to sit tall and feel free to shake anything out if you need. I have a major knot in my right side probably from sleeping, but sometimes shaking it out kind of helps. So once you've gotten out any extra wiggles, let's sit tall. You can connect your hands wherever you'd like. I'm putting mine on my legs here. And settle your eyes closed if it feels safe, if it feels comfortable to do so. You're welcome to alternatively stare softly, let your gaze rest softly at something in your distance if closing your eyes is a bit too much. And once you're there, take some normal breaths and start to tap into what's going on in the body. And that can be as subtle as feeling the muscles in between your ribs be a little bit more tight on one side, or it could be the quality of your breath that you notice. Is it full? Is it shallow? And then we'll move more into intentional breath. So you're welcome to bring your hand to your belly just to help with the visualization. But what we'll do first is exhale all our air. And then inhale through your nose and fill up the lower part of your belly. So just focus there. And that's a third of your breath. So only use a third. The next third will inhale into our lower lungs. And the final third fills us all the way up, topping off at the base of our throat. As you exhale, open your mouth and make it really long and draw it out. So 8 counts or 6 counts of open mouth exhale. And then we'll begin that process again whenever you're done there. Inhaling into the lower belly, into the lower lungs, into the upper chest. And open mouth exhale, slowly letting it go. And as you're taking that exhale, notice how that feels in the back of your throat. And we'll take 2 more just like that on your own. For these longer exhales, should help tap into our parasympathetic nervous system, our system responsible for the rest and digest functions. So notice if the state of your mind changes, or if you notice any other physical sensations. Once you're done there, option to drop your chin to your chest and lift your chest to meet your chin. Notice how this feels in the back of your neck. Stay with your breath. If you'd like to tap into your Ujjayi Pranayama, sealing your lips and inhaling, exhaling through your nose, finding a slight constriction in the back of your throat, feel free to do that. That can be another thing to focus on physically to get you out of your mind. It also helps generate heat in the body. So know that open mouth exhales are always welcome. Lift your head back up and then extend both arms out to your side. So they're out at a T, and reach them out as far as you can. Notice how that feels. All right, and then drop your right hand down to the earth as you drop your right ear to right shoulder. Where else do you feel this in your body? Is it on the other side of your neck, under your arm. If you're looking for more, you might start to bend at your wrist, lifting your fingers straight up, pressing into an imaginary wall by your side. Where do you feel that? Stay with your breath. And our mind wants to live in any moment but now. So notice that as thoughts start to come into your view, you might find that they're more typically about the past or the future. It might be about the present. Just acknowledge them, trying to take a step back as if you're the observer. Let's lift our head back up, drop your left hand down, and this time reach your right hand out, dropping left ear to left shoulder. And notice if this side feels different. If you're looking for more, you might bend your wrist, lifting your fingers straight up. And breathe. Where do you feel sensation? And it might be a place that you might not expect. Because we are so interconnected within the body, it could be tugging at something else. So goal is to become aware of all of those nuanced changes. Inhale, bring your head back up, drop your hand back down. Option to kind of sway side to side or shake anything out. If you felt tingles in your arms, that's normal. We want to make sure we're doing not too much of that. Oh, hey, Chris. Oh, sorry about that. Yay, welcome. Okay, cool. So now we're here. And let's inhale, bring your arms straight up to the sky. And first lift as high as you can. Maybe interlace your fingers if that feels okay. And then release your fingers and we'll twist to one side. So you can twist to the right, bringing your left hand to your right thigh, opposite hand behind your back. Just take a gentle gaze to the side. If you'd like to invite some more physicality, you might turn your head a little bit. And just notice, again, always, where you feel sensation. Breathe. Inhale, return to center. Maybe shake it out side to side. And we'll lift our arms overhead once again. Inhale. And exhale, take it to the opposite side. Try to make your spine as tall as possible. And then turn your head if that's something you're wanting to try. Deep breaths here. Where can you soften in your face? Maybe in your jaw. Notice if you're clenching or swallowing a lot. For non-medical reasons. And let it go. Trying to open up through our center line. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale. You can move, shake it out. We'll come to tabletop. So stack your shoulders over your wrists. A blanket is helpful if you're feeling a lot of pressure under your knees or pain. And then once you get to tabletop, start to move side to side, maybe cat cow. Doing this from home, not that we all worry about this, but we don't have to worry as much about comparison because we're not physically viewing other folks or sitting next to other folks that are doing anything. And so kind of a benefit here is if there ever is any concern about how something might look, you're in a safe space. All right, let's move through cat-cow together. So balance out whatever you might have just done. And then spread your fingers wide, press your finger pads into the mat. Alternatively, you could cup your hands so that your fingers are all connected. Just notice which one feels better. I would advise bringing all the fingers together if you experience something like rheumatoid arthritis. That just might be an alternate to try. Otherwise, fingers wide, pressing into finger pads. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your heart. Cow pose, where do you feel sensation? Exhale for cat, round your spine, let your head drop down, press through the back of your heart, tailbone points down, cat. Inhale for cow. And exhale for cat. Move through cat and cow several more times. Taking it slow, noticing where sensation arises in the body. And these physical sensations can be very much tied to emotions as well. So emotions have been described as the body's reaction to the mind. And so noticing the sensations, noticing emotions is going to help us get unstuck, slowly but surely. All right, one more round of cat-cow, and then make your way into child's pose or any other resting posture that feels nice. So some variations you might try. Knees together, you could come down and put a block or a pillow under your forehead if head below heart is bothersome. You could widen your knees, stretch your arms overhead. You could still put a block under your head or books or pillow. Wherever you are, breathe. If arms are overhead, stretch your arms super far overhead as you reach your hips back, lengthen through your spinal column. With your inhales and exhales, fill up your belly on the inhale, letting it drop down towards the mat. And exhale, you might take an open mouth exhale to release something, or you can keep your lips sealed. Option, if you're looking for more, you can bring your palms to touch and lift them overhead, bending at the elbows. Notice what you feel under your arms or anywhere else. Check back in with your jaw. Are you holding anything there? Open and close. And plant your hands back down. We'll press into a tabletop. And make your way to downward facing dog or high plank. Just notice how this feels for you with head below heart. Pedal your legs. And know throughout practice you can always take modifications. So everything that I am suggesting is just that. I'll try to introduce some modifications, but ultimately let's try to really connect with the body and understand if there's something that we need that's a bit different today. So if we're in downward facing dog, option 2, shift into a high plank to kind of get a feel for the length that we might have between hands and feet. And then really stabilize once you're here. So press into finger pads. Our forearms rotate inwards, our biceps rotate outwards. Our head is dropped below into our biceps or in between. Lower ribs knit in, they pull in towards center. And you can bend your knees and lift your hips a little bit higher if you feel like your lower back is rounding. Inhale, gaze forward. And exhale, walk, step, or jump, preferably tiptoe to the top of your mat for our first forward fold. And widen your stance however much you'd like. So in this forward fold, you can grab for opposite elbows, bend your knees a lot, let your head hang down if it feels okay. Open and close your jaw. Bring your weight more into your toes. And then I like to pull my belly button to my spine a little bit more as I lean forward, seeing if that can help lengthen my spine. So if that resonates with you, welcome to try. Release your hands down to the mat. Bring your feet a bit closer. Maybe they'll touch, maybe not. And first, check in with where your feet are connected, literally to the mat. So can you distribute your weight equally amongst the four corners of your feet? And it's okay if we need to check back in here, but bring that into your mind. And then we'll start to roll up to standing. Let your head arrive last and take it really slow. See if you can go slower than you have in the past. And as you're moving up, where do you feel? If it helps to name body parts, to tap or to get more connected to your body, like I feel this in my lower left rib. So that might be a helpful tool. Okay, so if rising up with head below heart to head above heart is hard, or if it causes lightheadedness, always welcome to get closer to the ground, drop your chin to your chest, and arms overhead as just some initial pointers. Let's stand at attention with our thumbs pressed into our heart, our hands connected. And then y'all might have your own personal intention for your practice, but I'll offer up connecting more with our consciousness or our true self rather than our ego or our mind. And we can do that by noticing sensation in our body. Whatever your intention, let go of your air. Inhale, fill all the way up, maybe from the bottom of your belly all the way through the top of your chest. Open mouth, exhale. Try to feel this in the back of your throat. So it might be kind of like that ujjayi breath, but with an open mouth. Good, drop your hands down. Inhale, mountain pose, lift all the way overhead and pause. Again, we notice our feet, spreading our toes wide and distributing the weight equally amongst the four corners of our feet. So just personally, I notice myself rolling inwards. I can kind of guide out, scan up to your knees, to your quads, lifting our knees up towards our hips, engaging our quads. Draw your belly button in. Lift your heart a little bit more. And then take goalpost arms as you lift your heart. Just notice this subtle lift of your gaze, an opening in your chest. Shoulder blades come to connect on your back. Stay here for one more breath. And then we'll inhale back to mountain. And exhale, fold. Hinge at your hips, melt your heart down. Take it slow. Shake out your head. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring hands to shins, thighs, or the mat. Something that allows you to bring your shoulder blades on your back. Extend through the crown of your head. Pull belly button to spine. One more breath in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, slowly rise, mountain pose. Let your head arrive last. Remember your tools. Exhale, back bend, cactus your arms, lift your heart. Where else do you feel this? Remember, it's our job to distinguish between pain and sensation. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, fold. And we can only distinguish when we pay attention. Because if you're like me, sometimes it's like you just push it until you feel something. And, you know, we got to start feeling something a little sooner. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. One more time through. Inhale, root to rise, mountain pose, extend, grow. Exhale, back bend, open your heart. Maybe you gaze a little bit higher up. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, hinge at your hips, melt your heart down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, let's come to high plank and lower all the way down to our bellies for some spine strengthening. Make your way there however you need to. We'll zip up our legs, connecting the inner seams of our legs. Hi, Luna. Thank you. And bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Hi, babe. All right, elbows straight up. Press your toenails into the mat. I'll let you in there in a second. All right, inhale. Lift, head, neck, and shoulders. Gaze is down, cobra pose. Keep pressing toenails into the earth. Shift your heart forward. Keep breathing here. I got you, Luna. You're here for 3. Lower down to your belly in 2. And 1. You can plant one ear on the mat as you release your arms down. And take a moment to feel yourself let go of tension in your muscles. And trust that the floor below you is supporting you. Notice your heartbeat. Notice your breath. Coming back to what's happening right now so we can reduce some suffering. Bring your chin back to center. Hands come underneath your shoulders. Tabletop is where we're headed. And then you're welcome to, well, we'll actually come into downward facing dog, but you're welcome to stay where you are. Take high plank, take an alternative. Otherwise, we'll meet here in Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Good, bring your big toes to touch behind you. Inhale, reach your right heel high and pause. Check back in with your finger pads. Reconnect through your finger pads. Point your toes down towards the earth. To square your hips. Good, 1 breath in. Exhale, our knee draws in towards our chest and we'll plant our foot down in between our hands. You're always welcome to lower the back knee and move your foot up if that is helpful. And then open into warrior 2. So take your time, however you need to get there. I like to bend and straighten my knee, kind of pulsing it out. Back foot's parallel to the short edge of your space, and you're really pressing into that outside edge of your foot. Front knee is forward and tracking towards your front pinky toe to help open up your hip. Breathe here, extend your arms out, grow taller out of your spine. Notice how it feels to stay. And start to notice the physical changes in your body as you stay in a posture for a longer time. Inhale, reach forward, extend forward with your front arm. Exhale, extended side angle. Front arm comes down, back arm lifts, breathe. Soften your face, soften your jaw. Remove your tongue from the roof of your mouth. One more exhale. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Keep the lunge in your front knee. Lift up and back with your front arm, and you might rest your back arm on your back leg, or you can find a half bind, pressing the back of your hand into the small of your back, which will help open up your shoulder. One more breath in. Exhale, cartwheel your arms to frame your front foot, spin your back foot forward. You're either welcome to lower your back knee and walk your front foot back, or just walk your front foot back however you need. We'll come to downward facing dog, or take a vinyasa, moving through chaturanga, or lowering all the way down to cobra, and then coming through upward facing dog, or something else. I'll demonstrate that next time, but just wanting you to know that it is your personal choice here. Bring your toes to touch. Inhale, lift your left heel high. Stay connected through your finger pads. Check back in. Point your toes down towards the earth. Inhale. Exhale, low lunge, however you'd like to get there. We're planting our left foot in the middle between our hands. Spin your back foot so it's parallel to the short edge of your space. Grow roots down through your feet and pull the belly to spine as you blossom open, warrior 2. And take a moment to pulse it out if you'd like. You might rearrange your stance. Notice if your front heel aligns with your back arch or your back heel, either is preferred. Reach your arms out overhead, or rather to your side. I was just staring at a dog and I got distracted. There's a bunch of dogs across the street from my house. All right, grow tall through your spine. Inhale, reach forward with front arm. Exhale, extended side angle and pause. Where do you feel this in your body? And also notice, is there any resistance that's coming up for you to what's happening right now? Maybe how you feel in your body is not how you expect. Or maybe it is what you expect and you wish it was different. But we got to start coming in line with what is. And then from there, we can make change. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down, frame your front foot, spin your back toes forward. Make your way to a downward facing dog, however is accessible for you. And you're welcome to move through the vinyasa. Beautiful. We'll move through that one more time. One breath to one movement. You can take it at your pace. So let's do it. Downward facing dog, big toes come to touch. Inhale, lift your right heel high. Exhale, low lunge, plant it down. Spin back foot down. Inhale, open, warrior two. Remember, take it at your pace. Exhale, extended side angle, reach and rotate. Breathe in. Exhale, stay. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale, cartwheel your arms, frame your foot, make your way through a vinyasa or not. And we'll come back to downward facing dog. Bring your toes together. Inhale, lift your left heel high. Exhale, low lunge. Spin your back foot down. Inhale, warrior two, blossom open. Exhale, extended side angle, reach and rotate. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, cartwheel your arms, frame your front foot, make your way through either a vinyasa or skip to downward facing dog, and we'll come down to our knees. Take any water, wipe your sweat. We'll make our way down to our backs whenever you're ready. Hope y'all are doing well. We're gonna work on some core. So let's start with lifting our legs up the wall, the imaginary wall. We'll work on core because, well, several reasons. Physically, to protect our lower back, to strengthen our stability, to it's our center. This is where we can find stability. But energetically, also to cultivate that fire, that passion, personal power, self-confidence, which we want. We want to be authentically ourselves and feel that. So bring your arms down by your side if your legs are still up. We're going to take a 3-part lowering. So I'll demonstrate it, but let's inhale to prepare. And exhale, lower a third of the way down. Both heels lower a third of the way down towards the mat. Take it another third down. So we'll have to kind of play with the breath to even it out. Keep pressing through your heels, lower all the way to hover. Inhale, lift back up. And ration your breath here. Exhale, lower a third. Exhale, lower another third. Exhale, hover. Inhale one more time. Exhale, lower. Exhale, lower. Exhale, hover. Inhale, come back up. Bring your knees into your chest. Rock side to side, and we'll take alternate legs next. So bring legs back up towards the ceiling. Hands can come down by your side or wherever feels comfortable. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lower your left heel until it hovers over the mat. Inhale to switch. Exhale, bring right heel down. Inhale to center, switch it out, left heel. And you get the idea. Inhale and switch. Take 2 more on each side at least. Remember your breath. Balance it out. 1 more on each side if you're there. Once you come back to center, bring knees into your chest. You might massage the tops of your ankles. Just know I've been super flexing through the ankles, and so they could use a little massage. Nice. At any point, you're welcome to take a deep sigh, open mouth, exhale. And just notice if that changes any sensation for you, if it makes you feel more at ease or whatnot. Bring your hands behind your thighs. You can rock and roll the length of your spine until we come up to a tall seat. Good. Let's take a seated cat-cow here before we transition back into our downward facing dog. So sitting tall, you can connect your hands either to the sides of your calves or the fronts of your knees, and we'll inhale, press your chest forward, lift up. Seated cow, exhale, round through your spine. Notice how your pelvis tilts back. Seated cat, 1 more time, inhale for seated cow. And exhale, seated cat. Awesome. Come back to center. We'll move over our knees, or you can shift them to the side as you come into tabletop. And downward facing dog is where we'll meet. And as an alternative to downward facing dog, if it ever becomes too much for head below heart, you can always meet standing at the top of your mat and move into the lunge that we'll move into. So just know there's options for you. So either downward facing dog or standing at the top of your mat. We're bringing our right foot forward. So inhale, reach your right heel high. And exhale, right foot comes forward. If you were standing, you can step your left foot back. All right, we have options here. You can either lower your back knee or keep your back knee lifted, but widen your stance so that your feet are on separate train tracks. All 10 toes point forward. Inhale, crescent lunge, either with back knee down or back knee up. And then check in here. How does this feel? Can you widen your stance a bit more? Maybe your hips are not pointing forward. So if one hip is guided back, it might mean we widen and shorten our stance. Bend into your front knee, and then option to bend into the back knee, lowering it down closer to the earth, and then pressing back through your heel so that the leg straightens a bit more. How does that feel? Arms can be up or by your side or at your heart. Breathe here. Notice when your body wants to get out of this posture. Can you exhale a little bit more, letting something go? Let's bring our hands to our heart and then reach forward with your heart. And this might be different than what I've done before. Plant your hands on the inside of your foot. So not doing the twist like we've done in the past here. We'll come right to runner's lunge. Hands are planted on the inside of your right foot. Back knee lowers down. Walk your front foot up and out. Maybe it's outside of the range of your mat. Maybe not, but your front knee is behind or on top of your ankle. Hands are planted into the earth. Blocks where you can come down to forearms. Breathe here. Option also, if this isn't enough for you today, you're welcome to bend your back knee and reach back with right arm, grabbing for your back foot if you're looking for a quad stretch. No need to take it. If you can drop your head down to notice if any muscles light up, feel free to try that out. And again, here, soften your face. Remove your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Breathe. When you're ready, if you were on your forearms, press into your hands. And then let's start to shift our hips back as we walk our front heel in towards the center. coming into half split. So our front leg might be super bent. It might be straight. It'll look differently on different folks. But our hips are shifted back. We're pulling our toes back towards our shin. Lift your heart forward. You might tent your hands or fingers rather on either side of your leg. Blocks are helpful here too if you're looking for a little more height. Breathe. Reach your heart forward, growing tall and long before you find any melting down. And make those breaths nice and full, releasing something with the exhale. If open mouth exhales are feeling nice, there is power in releasing through our open mouth exhales. So just notice what feels good. We'll start to shift into our front foot, placing it on the mat, walking our fingers forward. Curl your back toes under and lift your back knee. And from here, you can walk your front foot up and around, or if lowering your back knee is more stable, you can do that as well. Downward facing dog. Always an option to move through a vinyasa if you're looking to level up in your physicality of the practice, or maybe it's something that you just really love, but you're always welcome to skip it. Inhale, bring your left heel high. Or if you're standing at the top of your space, you'll keep your left foot forward. Exhale, low lunge, left foot comes up. Plants between your hands. You can also get there by lowering back knee and walking your foot up. All right, and then from here, choose if you'd like to lower your back knee or not. Widen your stance so that all 10 toes point forward. Inhale, crescent lunge, either with back knee down or back knee up, and pause. Does this side feel any different than the other? Notice if one hip is tracked behind the other. Can you widen your stance? Maybe shorten it a bit. And then option to bend your back knee and press your heel back. Hands can be wherever you'd like here. Breathe. When thoughts start to come up, no judgment about that. That's completely normal. It's whether we decide to identify with those thoughts that is problematic to ourselves, to others. So imagine you are like this overseer in your being that's just watching these thoughts arise. Stay with the breath. What do you feel physically? We'll bring our hands to our heart, and instead of twisting, we'll reach forward and then plant our hands in the inside of our left foot. Lower your back knee down. Walk your front foot up and out so that it might be off of your mat, but it's in a place that allows us to have plenty of room for our hands, our knees tracked behind our ankle or on top of it. Take your layer from here. That might be coming down to forearms. It might be staying on hands, on blocks, or it might be bending your back knee and reaching back with your left hand this time. Whatever layer you choose is fine, as long as you can feel something, or as if you try to tap into that feeling state. Maybe drop your head down, see how that affects any other parts of your body. Open mouth exhales are good here. Can you let something go? Where else are you tensing up when you're in this posture? Maybe can you soften in your face, in your eyebrows or jaw? And we'll start to shift our hips back as we walk our front heel in towards the center of our mat. And notice your bottom knee if you want to put a blanket under there for some more support. Pull your toes back towards your shin. Your knee can be super bent. It does not need to be straight for half splits. We want to find sensation. So whatever angle is, whatever bend or lack of bend in the knee is there for you, we just want to feel sensation. So pull the toes back towards your shin, reach your heart up and forward. And then if you found your extension in your spine, you're welcome to start melting down a bit towards your leg. So I talked a little bit about feeling resistance to what's happening currently in your body, in the world, wherever it is, but it starts in the body. And resistance in our thoughts comes out as judgment. So judging others, judging ourselves, judging others because we used to be like that and we don't want to be like that anymore, you know? Shift forward onto your front foot, shift your blocks forward or your hands, and then you can curl your back toes under, lift your back knee, and make your way to downward facing dog. Just for a transition, we'll lower our knees down, come down to a tall seat, and widen your legs out. And resistance in terms of emotion is manifested in terms of negative emotions. So we can be non-resistant in what is and still take action against what is unjust. So those two are not mutually exclusive. Okay, so wide-legged stance seated. Options for you. We're going to take a wide-legged forward fold. You're welcome to, if you have a blanket or a thin pillow, if you want to sit on the edge of that, like, and I mean the very edge, so that your pelvis is starting to tilt a little bit forward, that might help you find a deeper forward fold. You don't have to do that, but it is an option. Okay, with our legs wide, we'll take some couple variations, but first we'll start with the straight forward fold. Inhale, lift your arms up. And exhale, you might plant them in front of you and walk forward into your wide-legged seated forward fold. Take your depth wherever that is. If it feels safe or okay to settle your eyes closed, I invite you to do so. Otherwise, you can gently gaze at something that's in front of you, maybe allowing your eyes to become, or your vision to become blurry. Breathe here. Where do you feel sensation in your body? Experiment with pulling your toes back towards your shins. Maybe you drop your head down. And we'll walk our hands back up. Nice. And then from here, bring your left heel in towards your thigh, so bending your left knee. Okay. And then our right leg is out, toes pulled back towards our shin. Inhale, lift your arms overhead. And on an exhale, turn your torso to face your extended leg and then reach. It does not need to be very far. You know, if we were in class, I'd have us have straps so that we could hold on to them and pull ourselves a bit closer. So you could also use like a towel for that. I know it's a little late to introduce that, but maybe in a future class we'll find some home props. But you can grab your pants, your ankle, your shin, wherever you're at. If you happen to have your left hand connected to right foot, you might just gently pull yourself a bit closer and you'll feel some opening along your side body, but make this yours. Breathe here. One more exhale. And then on an inhale, we'll walk our hands up our thigh, switch out our legs. Good. All right. So other side. Inhale, lift your arms overhead. Exhale, turn your torso to face your extended leg and reach wherever your hands land is okay. And thinking about future sessions, or if you have something close by, a dish towel or a hand towel, or even a bath towel might be helpful to wrap around the foot, holding with both hands. So just thinking about that for the future. Breathe here. Again, identifying where we feel physical sensation can just help us tap more into our felt sense. So I recognize we're still using our minds to name our body parts, but we're using it as a tool. deep breaths, open mouth exhales if you're really feeling like you're holding on to something and you need to release. Notice where you feel it in your body and take that deep exhale. One more. And then we'll inhale, walk our hands up our legs. And from here, we'll take a hip opener of your choice. So if you really love sleeping half pigeon coming from down dog, you're welcome to go there. Alternatively, you might take a tall seat, plant your hands behind you, fingers pointing towards your glutes or pointing back, and crossing ankle over your thigh for a seated figure four. So that's another option. And then yet another option, which might make the most sense for us. Any of them might make the most sense, but you can lower down to your back. And what's kind of cool as you think about all these, I mean, maybe I just think it's cool, but I love that all of these variations are just a change in your relation to gravity. So, you know, we're on our backs. We're kind of like in an upside down-ish sleeping half pigeon. Just food for thought. Not that we need to be thinking. Breathe here. Wherever you're at, soften your jaw. Really try to let go of holding on there. So when we're opening our hips, we might notice memories or sensations arise. We might not. But there's so much energy held in our hips. Scientifically, if you think about, like, energy is not destroyed or created. I'm going to totally botch the quote, but where does it go when we don't let it, when we don't release it? It gets stuck. Hips are a big area where things get stuck. Breathe here. We have a late arrival. It's Bob. If you are wherever you're at in your hip opening, let's move out of it. So if you're in sleeping half pigeon, coming into you know, downward facing dog and switching it out. If you're in supine figure four or seated, release your right leg. You can bend and straighten the leg or roll out your ankle. And we'll switch to the other side. And something to be aware of here physically is if we're in the supine figure four, so I know when I guide us into half pigeon, I try to say to point your front toes because your shin will likely not be at a 90-degree angle to the short edge of your mat, or rather perpendicular to your thigh. And when you're in the supine figure four or seated, it's easier to find that perpendicularity. So you can pull, I don't even know if that's a word, but you can pull your toes back towards your shin. Breathe here. And for the rest of class, no need to look at the screen. Unless you'd like, you can listen to my words and I'll guide you through. Relax your face. Relax your jaw. One more round of breath. And when you're ready, release. If you're in sleeping half pigeon, make your way to your back. If you were in supine figure four, you might bend and straighten your knee or roll out your ankle. And then together we'll plant our feet on the mat, bending at the knees. So if you're not on your back, make your way there, bend your knees, arms come down by your side. Maybe you can touch the backs of your ankles, maybe not, but that's kind of what we're going for in terms of how close your ankles are and your heels are to your glutes. Okay, nice. From here, let's start to lift our hips up. Your arms can be down by your side, and you might stay here, or You can shimmy your shoulders or move your shoulders so that they are creating a shelf under your heart and form a fist at your lower back. Soften your glutes here. Notice what else is supporting you. Open mouth exhales. We're here for 3. 2. 1, release your grip, lower your glutes all the way down. Widen your stance with your feet and knock your knees in. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, or anywhere else that's working for you. And feel the warmth of your inner hands. Actually, let's do this together. Let's rub our hands together. So, yeah, we're cold, but then we want to warm up. So rub them together and then place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Soften everywhere in your body. Maybe close your eyes. Be with yourself for a moment. There's a lot of power in our hands that we take for granted. Feel the warmth. Nice. Let's bring our knees into our chest and rock side to side, and then we'll come into happy baby. So placing the feet up, you might grab for your inner feet, your ankles, or your outer feet, or maybe shins or thighs, anywhere that you can connect with your body. And widen your knees. Allow yourself to feel this in your hips, maybe sway side to side. I like to think happy baby, or one variation of happy baby could also be seen as malasana or yogic squat, if you think about shifting gravity. So I think that's actually something I learned from a yin training that I had with one of my teachers, Carrie Quinn. Changing your aspect to gravity can help you find the posture or the sensation that you might not get in another way. Breathe here. And then when you're ready, let's bring our knees into our chest. Release your left leg long so your heel connects to the earth with a long leg. Bring your fingers to the tops of your right shin and guide it around your ribcage into your armpit. Draw your right knee over to the left side of your body, and you can shift your bottom hip in towards center if you'd like for a deeper twist. Right arm can come out, an option to gaze to the right, or notice if that's feeling like it's too much this morning. You can gaze up or to the left. I encourage you now to let go of effort, let go of holding your muscles in this particular way. Notice if you're still clenching or gripping in your thigh. And start to gaze up towards center, bringing your right knee back in towards your chest, and then release it long, exchanging it for your left thigh. Bending your knee, interlace your fingers over your left shin, guide your thigh into your armpit, and then over to the right side of your body. You can shift your bottom hip in towards center if you're looking for a deeper twist. Long arm out. An option to gaze up to the left or to the right. Can you let go of holding anything here and allow yourself to be held by the earth, by your mat, by your breath? It can be as subtle as removing your tongue from the roof of your mouth, or softening your eyes. And then start to bring your your head back to center, your thigh in towards your body, both thighs. You might bend your knees and massage your lower back, connecting your palms to your shins. So, and then if there's any other postures that are calling for you, or shapes or movements, feel free to take it. Otherwise, I invite you to come into a full Shavasana. Final resting posture, and take anything, anything that can help make you feel more comfortable here. So that might be a blanket or pillows or blocks or anything you've got around you. And then once you're here, I encourage you to do a final check-in with your body, perhaps scanning from head all the way down to toes to notice where you might be holding on, and invite yourself to release any gripping. And from here, this is where we can grow bigger than our bodies by just succumbing to what is, to being. And I will guide you out when the time comes, but you have plenty of time. Wherever you might have drifted, start to deepen your breath. And remain in your Shavasana. I'll guide us through the end of our practice through Shavasana today. You're always welcome to come to a seat, but if you're still lying down, maybe bring your thumb to every finger pad. Maybe form fists and release. Maybe rock your ankles side to side, or flex your feet and point your toes. You can do the same with your hands. And then if you'd like to take a full body stretch, you're welcome to do so. We'll stay here in Shavasana. So know that you're welcome to try something different. And then again, I'd like to come back to this building friction in our hands. Let's rub our hands together. For a few moments longer than last time, just notice that heat building up. And then you can bring both hands to your heart to your belly, to your hips, anywhere that is calling to you, and just feel this. You are alive. You are more than the thoughts that enter your mind. And you're allowed to feel everything. Release your hands. And from our lying down positions, bring our hands to a prayer grip, connecting with our heart space first. Maybe come back to your intention. And just acknowledge it. Take a breath. We'll bring our thumbs to our third eye center, the space between our eyebrows, and I'd like to acknowledge those that came before us, those that brought yoga to life, and for the privilege that I have to be able to transmit this to you all. I'm so very appreciative. The light the teacher, the student in me sees, honors, and reflects the light the teacher, the student in all of you, in all things. Namaste.